Hello, beautiful souls. 211 on the clock is significant. 911 is significant. 711 is significant. And 411 is significant. Yeah, I'm just here listening to a transmission. And I will probably do a video tomorrow because I don't have my journal with me. But I just wanted to get on and see how everyone was doing. And to share just something really quick. Again, I'm here waiting to pick the kid out from school. I am having a lot of realizations. Like, if I didn't journal everything that I've journaled in the past, since October of 2024, I slowly started it. And then it became more increasingly over 2025. But the end of October, like October 14th, it was a birthday gift. There was no coincidence. I've never journaled really anything before in my life. I'd been keeping notes in my journal and in my phone. So journaling might be significant, or you're being called to journal. Okay, so what are we weaving into this tapestry? What are we weaving into this message? That some of you that might be receiving this message, whether you're new, returning, are either being just starting to go through a process that a lot of us ground crew, light workers, anchors, whatever you want to, star seeds, earth angels, whatever, have been going through for the past 18 months to 2 years. And for me specifically, I can speak for me specifically that this stuff that you might be going through now, right now, is stuff that a lot of us went through last year at this time. Like literally, like a lot of the transmissions that I would listen to just to listen to, and again, I always listen with discernment. I've learned to tap in more and more to my discernment over this awakening process, to know that's what's true is true, which is what feels not in resonance. So it's like, what is in resonance, what is not in resonance. Resonance is basically the transmissions coming out now from the same different groups are either messages that are coming through me, like in their own unique way, in other channels. So there's correlation there with the messages for the collective consciousness, for the beautiful souls out there. But also there's transmissions and messages to those that are going through exactly what I went through last year. I'm like, I wish I heard this last year. But again, everything happens perfectly because, so I won't listen to it because it's, I mean, if I'm called to through resonance, I'll listen to the whole message. But if the message feels like something of information that I already know because I've already gone through that, I will click away. But I will store it away also. So not only will I click away if it's not in full resonance in that moment, I will store it. And if I'm guided to, I will listen to it later. Or if it rolls up in the feed again, I will listen to it. So that's how it works for me, typically. So I just want to let you know that this time last year, everything that unfolded during my awakening process, again, the last 18 to 24 months is very significant, and definitely in the last 6 to 9 months is very significant, or 12 to 9 months, 6 to 9 months, these particular segments in time. So if you weren't a spring wake-upper, you might be in a fall wake-upper. So I made this connection that there's been massive shifts and change around the spring equinox and the fall equinox. Maybe the summer and winter, so maybe during just the equinox, but I feel for what I've seen in resonance with, it's spring and fall were two major ones for me. And then, so we'll see what the summer one is, because that hasn't, like, that block hasn't hit for this particular cycle. So this time last year, I believe I spent 3 to 4 weeks. So I had my big awakening took place the 17th of April. A lot of things led up to that, from 2024 all the way up to that, things that I received and were working through, and with Reiki and natural healing, lots and lots and lots of meditation, less working out, a lot of going within, a lot of just introspection, a lot of meditation, a lot of Reiki, a lot of different things like that, and then getting certified in Reiki. That's almost a year ago now, and it blows my mind that like at the end of April or early May is when I got my certification for Holy Fire Reiki 1 and 2, 444 on the timer, and a year and a few days later, I am a practitioner, a participating practitioner in the wellness fair at the wellness store where I received my certification, and where it's like my second family, my soul family. A lot of the women that work there, that offer services, I've become very like again, they're in their way, they are part of my soul family and have assisted during this awakening process. And I have so much gratitude and appreciation beyond human words. And it's pretty interesting that a year later, I am now, and it all kind of unfolded very fast, very rapidly, like right time, right place, as the universe does. And I took inspired action. I didn't have to take inspired action because I took inspired action. And I asked, is there space? Would I be able to practice to kind of get my feet wet? And the answer was yes. And I'm like, and it just took off from there. And I was able to be added to the roster, which I am so grateful and appreciative of, and really, really excited to see what comes through on Saturday, as a channel, as a healing practitioner, using light language, using, Reiki, quantum healing, whatever channels the frequency and energies that are channeling through and with me. I'm really excited. And then just to see where this is going, right? And so it's pretty interesting. Like I could not imagine a year ago I was suffering. I was like in the thick of the beginning stages of it, and I don't get sick. Like it was a massive purge and detox. I went through a massive lower and upper respiratory infection that lasted for about 3 to 4 weeks. I could hardly breathe. I could hardly think. I couldn't function. There was so much purging in the entire upper chakra systems. I couldn't hardly eat. Nothing sounded good. I was sick. I was nauseous. I couldn't, like I said, I couldn't breathe. I couldn't, there was like this massive, just forced into just stillness and darkness. And you may be in that spot right now. Maybe you've already been through it. You may have, and every time that you're kind of put in that position, you can navigate it a little more smoothly. But in that moment, I strictly remember, again, going into the wellness store and talking to a few of my mentors who I've worked with, and I'm like, I'm just in this really dark place, in this just nothing, this darkness. And someone had mentioned that's your sacred pause. That's your sacred space. That's like the beginning stages of your cocoon phase. You're going within. It's this isolation, this nothingness, and I was fighting against it so hardly. Like I was, like there was a lot of like resistance to that, and just to quit chase the next thing, or try to figure the next thing out, or to get the next practice, or to do the next class, to do the next meditation, whatever, and just learn to. And I was forced into this. Like I couldn't like hardly function. When you're in it, it feels like you're dying. Literally, you're not dying. You're just waking up. And then you come out of it and you have all these reflections like I've had many reflections back to that over the year. And then now we're full blown a year later, which is like, where did the year go? Realization. And the other thing that was really interesting, all of this respiratory stuff that was going with my partner a year later is now having to have massive dental work done, which is again focusing on these upper chakra systems. There's no coincidence to this. You can take what resonates and leave what does not. But I am so glad that I experienced everything I have been experiencing, and I continue to experience, and to continue to expand, to grow, and to evolve, to step into those things scared. Like I keep seeing this video, like jumping off a helicopter. I'm like, oh my God, that would be amazing. Do things scared. Take those baby steps, even if they're scary. Don't let imposter syndrome comes up often. In the health and wellness, I knew my shit. Like I had at the beginning though, I had this imposter syndrome. Do I have the right to be here? Do I have the knowledge? Do I have the wisdom? And then I gained and grew and grew and grew, and I became something that was my own unique thing, and that attracted the right people. And I feel like this is the same thing in a different trajectory, like in the spiritual arts, healing practices and modalities, to help the collective, to be a practitioner in the again, to be service to others, right? And that's like my mission. That's part of my purpose, and my mission is to be in service to others, doing things that I love, that ignite me and expand me, and while helping others. And I feel like, again, this is that new trajectory. I didn't know that. Like when I was guided to get my Reiki certification, I had no idea. I knew the health and wellness fitness thing was fading and being cleared and moved away. And I was just guided to do this. I didn't know what was going to happen, but I learned to trust and have faith and to take those steps forward, even in the scary places, 10-10 on the timer, in the unknown. And things have unfolded perfectly, even though my ego and mind has tried to convince me many times that they should be moving faster, for sure. And even now, stepping into this, I have had to learn to stand in my authenticity and in my truth and my power, and know that I'm just as good as anyone else in my own unique way, sharing my unique gifts, skills, and abilities up against, not literally up against, but practicing with and beside, thank you, that's better. Practicing with and beside amazing, beautiful souls, mentors, teachers, and guides who've been practicing for many years in their own particular spiritual arts, practicing healing and whatever that is. Okay, 222 on my clock here. All right, and we're gonna roll up on that 1111 portal energy. Yeah, and so I just wanted to share this. So you either just might be in the thick of it, just going into your isolation stage, first few stages of that, phases and or stages, because it is, or you're kind of in the middle of it, or you're just coming out of it, like a lot of us are, and you're feeling really ignited to take those baby steps, to do things scared, to take actionable steps every single day towards that thing, even though you quite don't know what the thing is. You just do that. And like I said, this opportunity came up a few weeks ago, kind of randomly through a conversation. I'm like, that ignites me, that excites me. Tell me more. How can I kind of find out if there's something I can add to this experience for other people? How can I? And it happened like really fast. And then now just getting up a bio and some information on how to put into human words what I offer as offerings, right? 1212 on the timer. So you're seeing those numbers as well. So just keep walking by faith. You feel like you're blindfolded. There's a reason for that. Just trust that everything's unfolding, that the universe, source, your team is working in your favor always, even though your ego's trying to convince you otherwise, and to do things scared. So do things scared. Don't allow imposter syndrome to step in, because it will. I promise you. Just stand in your power. That's why I've been talking about this for weeks now, is learning how to stand very embodied and empowered, to think that you are just as good as anybody else, because you are an N=1 of frequency and energy, and somebody out there needs your specific quantum medicine teachings, wisdom, knowledge, experience. Someone is meditating and praying for you right now. Thank you, source. Someone is praying and meditating and asking for somebody specifically like you, like me, like somebody here or somebody over there, that is specific to them, that the frequency will resonate, and your specific quantum and medicine, magic, knowledge, and wisdom, and truth and authenticity is going to resonate with them on their healing journey, in their awakening process during this ascension. All right. And don't think anything less of that, and don't let anyone else convince you of that. That's why you set clear, healthy boundaries. If naysayers are saying bullshit, separate yourselves. But then the last one you have to separate yourself is from the ego and mind trying to convince you that you aren't worthy of this, that you are, this imposter syndrome bullshit that might want to come up. All right, so stand in your truth and authenticity, stand in power, know your magical magnificence, your gifts and your abilities, and somebody out there needs your specific quantum medicine, magic, gifts, and abilities. Okay, so I am excited, got excited, and if you feel like you're being pulled, take that step. Just do something small every day. If it's writing something down, typing something up, maybe just going out into the wild, into a random store, and maybe having a random conversation with somebody if you feel called to, maybe go up to somebody in a coffee shop, and whatever it is, you'll know through resonance and through guidance that if you're being called to do something. If you're being called to do something and you're not stepping forward, you don't want to miss your opportunity, okay? Because sometimes there is windows of opportunity, and the universe's source is giving you these windows of opportunity, these doors, I should say, should be better, these doors of opportunity, okay? So just know that you are just as good as anybody else. Just because somebody's been practicing for 10 years doesn't mean that your gift, skills, and abilities are any less than them, okay? You might be more powerful than they are. You don't know that, all right? You don't know that. So why not do it scared? Get out there, stand in your power, stand in your authenticity, stand in your truth, and just do it. I think the source says, just do it. Just do it. It's time to just do it. Do it scared, but do it authentically, truthfully, powerfully, empowered, embodied, and do not shrink yourself down, and know how powerful you are. Because you are, all right? You aren't a nobody. If you're here, you're a fucking somebody. And I'm here to remind you of your magic, your magnificence, your magnetism. All right? And that somebody out there is looking and praying for and meditating for your specific quantum medicine, magic, wisdom, knowledge, truth, and authenticity. And you are to do this unfiltered and raw. You aren't here to filter it. You aren't here to figure it out. You're here to feel through it, unfiltered, and again, standing strong in that truth. So unfiltered, we're not here to try to like write a script out, like, I'm going to practice Reiki, but I've got to say these specific things, or I got to do this the certain way. You do it authentically in the now present moment, unfiltered, and you feel through it. You don't try to figure out. The time is, we're not here to figure it out, especially for you energy practitioners and healers, teachers and guides and mentors, okay? We're here to feel it out, okay? Feel. Breathe. Oh my gosh. I love you. I'm you, you're me, and we are we, and we are stepping into our purpose. And if you're still going through the healing process, you'll know when you are ready to step out of that cocoon. 17 on the timer. Okay? I love you. I will see you soon. Bye.